Alright, so you know Tamagotchi Paradise, they do not come with a case. You can get a bag for them, but not everyone wants a bag like that. So I made myself a small, like, protector case, a dust-proof case, if you will. You know, old school Nokia dust-proof case. Very basic, very basic. I used some fancy material I had floating around, but you can use pretty much anything. So I thought I'd do a little video on just like the rough idea of how I got it, so you can copy along if you need something. So here is the rough pattern. I put the Tamagotchi down, I traced around it, and then I obviously took it off. I left room for the window, which I'm going to do a cross. I'll show you in a minute, but I'm going to do a cross, and then I'm going to cut those pieces up so that way I can fold the triangles over, and I can use this piece of, it's a tablecloth kind of like plastic that you place over it, thin flexible plastic. So I literally just cut cut some of that from the back. That's fine. And then you put this on here. Again, I will show you guys in a moment once we're up to that step, but that's roughly how it goes. Pin it, sew it, and then I've got these splits here because it's a circle. You split it just so like you can get a slightly even or a more even hem on this. Maybe material doesn't need hemming if you've got fancy material. I've got like this rainbow material I'm going for next. I'm hoping you can't see the pattern through it. You sort of can, but that's okay. And then because of the flap on it, I'm improving the flap from this one to that one. This one was just kind of like standard, same size as everything else, and then it folded over and clicked in the other side just to secure the case on. But for this one I'm doing it slightly thinner, and it's going to go a little bit longer, and hopefully that will be able to press stud into the other side. The other side is exactly the same, it's just a round circle without the square in the middle. Allow me to show you that. Alright, so just roughly trace around it. Obviously it is very rough. Can you guys see what I do? Yep. Just a little lines. Can I do this in the camera? Sort of. And then you do yourself a border around here. This is just the hemming border, so it doesn't need to be too fancy. Now you could probably hand sew this if you wanted to. I'm using machine, but yeah. So that is the back of the Tamagotchi case. The back of it. It's just a single circle there. The side I used a grey fleece for this on the side, but I'm going to be using this rainbow colour for the side panel on this one. So I got to work out what way I'm doing the pattern. I'm probably just going to cut a strip off. I'm not too phased about the pattern ideas, but if you want to get real fancy, you can like try and orientate everything so it matches up. I'm probably just going to take like a strip from here. You don't need a lot, it just needs to kind of go around here. Now this is the front panel, so you want a gap on the side panel here for the dial. So yeah, you want like a bit of a gap. So when you bring the side panel up, just stop it a little bit before that. That leaves enough. This one I did a little too close to it. You can still use it, but it's a little bit in the way. Now ideally I was going to cut the buttons out as well. I probably still could, but at the moment they do seem to be working. They don't press like all together. They're individually. It's soft enough and roomy enough that it's not a problem. I forgot to cut show you the cross. Alright, now we do it. Alright, I left, I cut out like a square so I didn't use too much, and that way I can just do my little strip along here. My estimate was based on, why is there a pen there? Based on just like, so, with a little bit of room to hem it. Alright. Alright, we're cut out and we're about to cut the cross there, because I do that first because that way it's all flat and nice and neat. Put the plastic on, the strip here just needs to be hemmed, and yeah. Alright, this is what we have now. So once you cut the square, you kind of keep the triangles there. The plastic film is kind of hard to see on the camera. plastic film is there. You can kind of see that with the glare there. So it's got an overlap. I don't mind about the overlap. Turn it over. Just be careful when you're sewing it to make sure it's nice and smooth. So yes, and then you've got your Tamagotchi. It should fit comfortably pretty much over the whole screen. The tab folds down. Cannot do this with one hand. Oops. Tab folds down halfway, which is good. So it gives you an idea of gauging it from here. Tamagotchi there, and then basically another Tamagotchi width of the tab. Alright, so that's there. This one's here. Goes like that. Goes like that. This gets hemmed. You do the others first, and then you work out, because all of this is not going to be visible. It's going to be right up against the Tamagotchi. These will be able to sit in there nice and tight. And yeah, that's your case. Alright, it's by no means perfect, but it's done. Now I did cut out the button hole here. I used a hole punch and kind of cut it to join so all the buttons are visible, whereas this one, the buttons are underneath, but this one is a little bit bigger, a little bit baggier, so it's got a little bit of room in it. This one's very tight, so you've got the turn thingy visible. It's a little crooked. It is a little crooked. You're not seeing things. It's crooked. We did the rainbow. It actually looks pretty cool with the rainbow. I would make it a teeny tiny bit bigger. Probably the seam a little bit bigger. This is a mistake. I went too high up, so I've tacked it and just left that loose like that. And then you've got the press stud, and it goes over. It's meant to prevent getting scratched and knocked and dusty and all that kind of stuff. So if they're like hanging off a keychain, they shouldn't be clinking together as bad as they were with plastic on plastic. Alright, so there they are, the two that I did. I'm happy with them. Obviously, I can improve upon them a billion times better than this. My sewing skills are, I mean, that I can sew, just not to I wouldn't sell these, basically. And there's also a seam, there's a crease here, and that won't go away, which is annoying. That is in the plastic on the top. But you sort of see it on some angles, and it's from turning it inside out, so a little annoying, but yeah. Alright. There they are. Alright, cool. So these will tie us over until we get something better, or maybe they're not going to bring something else out. The official bags that came with it were kind of like this, so who knows. Anyway, that is the thing, the stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.